Hey Curl, hey, it's Lorenz, aka Ringlet Reina, and I'm going to show you how to style for volume on fine, low density hair. Now let's get into it. For this hair routine, you want to make sure that you spray generously a heat protectant all over the hair because we will be diffusing for best results. I am now using a stronger hold product like a gel, whether it is lightweight or a stronger hold, and I am raking through the hair. You want to make sure when using a gel, you want to emulsify the product in between your fingers to spread it out, and then really make sure that every hair strand is fully saturated with water, but also fully saturated with product. And that's what you'll see me doing here. It's just raking it through with my fingers, all of the mids and ends of the hair. For the next step of this styling routine, I will be applying a lightweight foam. In this case, it will be Innersense's I Create Lift volumizing foam. And this is the only product that I really recommend at the scalp and can be used all over the hair. I really like to work it into the hair to get max volume. And it is so lightweight that it really works on all textures looking for a more voluminous style. Now I will continue putting the product and raking it through the entire ends of the hair. And then I will take horizontal sections and clip the remaining hair on top of the head with alligator clips to make sure that there are no sections getting in my way as I brush through the hair to distribute product and also create bigger curl clumps. For a more voluminous style, you want smaller curl clumps. And for a more defined style, I recommend big curl clumps. The smaller the clump, the more airiness you will get in your style. In this video, I am currently using the Denman detangling brush, which I really love to use, but you can also use a Denman styling brush, the 9-row styler, or you can use one of my favorite tools, the Felicia Leatherwood brush with the best. I am currently just sectioning my second section of hair, which is usually the middle. The middle back crown area of the head is where most curlies have the most issues when it comes to styling. So really make sure that you get plenty of water and plenty of product in those areas because that will make the difference between you frizzing up over a couple of hours, maybe a day, versus over the week. And you just want to go through and lift the hair off of the scalp and really use the brush to get that elevation off of the scalp to give you even more volume while styling. I will leave links to all of my favorite tools down in the description box below. I also use wide tooth combs sometimes, as well as regular flat combs. It really just depends on the desired result of the client, as well as what their curls kind of need, because you can also use finger techniques such as finger rolling, finger coiling, and finger twisting. So you have lots of options. Now I've worked my way up to the very top of the head. This is where I make a horseshoe section for the bang area and to get more volume. I take a horseshoe section from temple to temple, and then horizontally I take another section and make sure to work the hair upwards at a 90-degree angle from the head because I really want to make sure that I'm getting as much volume as possible without having to flip my hair over, do all these crazy other techniques you see online. But this will make sure that those curl clumps get all of that root lift and volume that you're looking for at the scalp. And make sure that whenever you are brushing, the bristles are going upwards and then you are dropping the hair gently downwards towards where the hair will lay. Once I make my way to the very front of the horseshoe sectioning with my smaller horizontal sections, I make sure to really get those baby hairs in front and any hairs at the hairline in that section. And afterwards, I ask clients to tilt their heads backwards so that I can enhance curl structure by scrunching. Scrunching is really great because you can hear the auditory cue of knowing whether or not you have enough product and water in your hair with a audible squish. So if you do not hear that squish for volume, that is a-okay because we are using lighter product. After I go in and scrunch the hair, I do the exact same thing but with a microfiber towel over my hand to take out excess water. And after I do that, I make sure to spray the hair with hairspray. Since we are using lighter weight products to create more volume, I just want to ensure my hold with a little bit stronger hold. A spritz hairspray is fabulous if you are going for everyday volume. If you are looking for something a little bit more heavy duty, I do recommend a aerosol spray. Now I am having my client lean over to really make sure I can get the scrunch on all sides of her hair. This is the way that I recommend that all clients scrunch, apply a product, and or diffuse whenever they are at home styling. Now I am using my diffuser on high heat, high fan, far away from the scalp, and I am hover diffusing. This is to really set a cast for the hair, and I make sure to really concentrate my efforts at closer to the scalp, because the sooner your scalp is dry, the sooner the rest of your hair is dry. Now I am asking my client to lean over so that we can really work on scalp volume and scalp diffusing. This is something that I recommend to all of my clients because most of them are looking for a lot of lift at the bang area. This is also really great to do after you have worked out and you have gone in and kind of gotten the scalp a little bit sweaty. Just go in and really dry your scalp, because that's going to make your scalp feel 100 times better. And you want to make sure that whenever you are scalp diffusing, it is on low heat, low fan. You don't want to do anything to irritate your scalp in any way. Be very gentle, especially when you are drying it. And make sure to scalp diffuse in all directions. You can lean to the left, lean to the right. For a little bit more volume, you can also flip your hair over your knees in front of you. There are lots of options, but this is just a great way to make sure that your scalp is nice and dry and you don't end up with a fungal infection of the scalp. After hover diffusing and scalp diffusing, I go in with a low fan and medium heat temperature, and I start scooping smaller sections of the hair and curl clumps into the diffuser bowl. You have to really think about how the fan is shooting up on your hair. So if you do what I like to call fist bumping, where you really move the diffuser into your hair, you're probably going to get more frizz than you intended. So be slow and intentional, and make sure that you are taking smaller sections of hair, because if you overfill the diffuser bowl, you will notice that it will take you longer to dry your hair. Consider this step basically like the best thing to get your maximum curl rotation and definition. The reason being, think about your hair like a stretched out slinky. We want to dry that slinky, which is your hair, as tight as possible so that your curls then have days to fall instead of just a couple of hours. We want to make sure that your hair gets dried as curly as possible. You may notice that if you air dry on a regular basis, your curls may be more stretched out. You may have more length in your look. That is because gravity is pulling down your hair with all the water and product in it, and really just stretching out your curls. So if you want to get the curliest of curls, make sure to do this step. It's super important. For this styling routine, we are specifically looking for more volume, so I'm really making sure to move my client more than I would for a definition routine. If you're interested in that routine, leave a comment down below and I will make that next. For this next portion, I am having my client flip her hair over her knees, and I am just hover diffusing her scalp really quickly, and then going in and scalp diffusing and really moving her hair so that we can get a little bit more lift at the scalp. This is going to ensure more root lift, a little bit more curl rotation at the root, and really just a nice dry scalp area with a lot of intended volume. For my curlies looking for volume, I do want to warn you guys, the more you touch your hair, the more you will be breaking apart the curl clumps. So just keep that in mind whenever you are styling. Now I am going in and scoop diffusing individual curl clumps while my client is still flipped over. You do not have to be flipped over for the majority of your styling routine. You really don't. If you want more volume, you could just do it more towards the end. But this is just going to help get a little bit more volume, a little bit more air in the hair, and really separate those curl clumps beautifully. So I'm speeding up the diffusing process a little bit because, as we all know as curlies, the diffusing process does take quite a while, but it does not take as long as air drying. So please, if you are a curly, especially in colder areas or in colder temps, please at least diffuse your scalp, make your scalp happy with you. As you can see, I'm scooping, I'm adding more air into the hair, and I am touching the hair a whole lot more. For a voluminous style, you do have to keep in mind that you are adding more frizz into the hair, more friendly frizz to get your volume, so your hair might not last as long. If you're looking for a routine that will give you more longevity, more curl definition and rotation, I can absolutely show you a definition routine for that. So just drop a comment in the comments below and I will get right on that. And here we have the reveal showing the client her hair. She absolutely loves it. Not only did she enjoy her volume, but she later messaged me saying that all she needed to do to refresh was add a little water, which we love. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and share it with your friends. And I can't wait to show you more. This was Ringlet Reina of Republic Hair Co., and I hope to see you around.